It's time for a new tractor. A big tractor. A speedy tractor.
Speedier than that.
But that's not all. Because with the additional money we'll make at the beginning of this episode, we should have enough to buy another big piece of equipment to go with the tractor. We're starting this episode with more selling, to really fatten that account for the new tractor. This silage we're taking to market here in January has a little extra bumper crop of bales from when we used grass as a cover crop last summer. It does take a fair bit of work to make the silage, and is a 4 or 5 step process, depending how you count. We have to cut the grass, bale it, pick up the bales off the field and wrap the bales, then roll the field to get it fully fertilized for the next harvest. The silage, though, is very lucrative for the farm, so it's definitely worth the effort. The farmer's market right next door is offering the best price, so let's get all the bales loaded up and sold. There, $184,000 in the account. The only thing I want to do is take care of the goats before I buy the tractor, because I know me, and once I get behind the wheel of that shiny new equipment, I might forget about something on the farm, like the goats. They need water and they need food. You haven't seen me doing much with feeding them grass because I'm letting them eat the meadow grass during the growing months. The only thing I really need to do for food is give them a bale, or even a partial bale in the winter. And that'll see them through till spring when the grass starts growing again. When it does, the meadow grass seems pretty sufficient for the number of goats in each pen to keep them fed. There, all taken care of, and in the process, I noticed I still have almost 32,000 liters of barley to sell. I was holding on to it till the price was good, and I even debated about running it through the grain mill for barley flour, but I think I'll sell it. We can always grow some more, and I'm not really desperate to do anything with it right now. So, to the sell point it goes. We've never sold to these grain silos right behind our property, but they're offering the best price. So we'll make a couple quick trips and add a little more to the account. We're now up to over $195,000, an awesome amount of money. And it's time to get some sleep so we can wake up bright and early and spend some money on a tractor. Well, while we slept, there was a slight change of plan. This used planter seeder combo that is also a direct drill came on sale. This is an amazing piece of equipment, and I think the only one like it you can get in game. It plants pretty much everything except for specialty crops that require their own equipment, cultivates at the same time, and when 300 horsepower is applied, goes a blazing 10 miles per hour with a 6-meter working width. It's a newly introduced piece of equipment with the Highland fishing expansion, and we can't pass this up. We're still going to get the big tractor, but this will also give us our first big piece of equipment as well. And it's ours. Now, let me tell you about my tractor thoughts and what I was going to buy. I've had my eye for a while on the Ford 97.6 Versatile. It's an articulating tractor, which means it turns using a universal joint in the middle and is 360 horsepower. I'd really love to have this tractor, even though it has some drawbacks. It has no 3-point linkage on the front, and I've also noticed it doesn't use 3-point linkage on the back, with no option to add it on. So that's a major drawback. It means we can really only pull things with it, like cultivators, rollers, trailers, anything that only requires a pin linkage. However, there is another tractor. This New Holland is a great buy. It comes standard with 3-point linkage on the back and front, is upgradable to 359 horsepower, basically the same as the Ford. And one thing I didn't mention, this New Holland goes 31 miles per hour. The Ford is limited to 17. So even though I love the Ford, and I am sentimental to the name brand, this New Holland is clearly the superior tractor. With the upgraded engine, it is also about the same price, so the New Holland will be our purchase. All we have to do is sell a couple things on the farm. Fortunately, as if right on cue, the sunflower oil at the oil mill is at its best price for the year. We did a quick sale of canola a couple months ago, and now it's the sunflower's turn. We'll put the flatbed into action, which I will say has come in extremely handy. It's saved us a lot of time converting the small trailer back and forth between the grain trailer and the flatbed. And now, what we'll do is just shift all the canola pallets off to the side and load ourselves up with sunflower oil. It should give us everything we need. We waited a little while for one more to spawn, and we have 7 sunflower oil pallets on the way to the small farmer's kiosk. Let's try a slightly different approach this time, rather than squeezing by the big tree. $18,500 and over $138,000 in the account as tractor money. Let's get this equipment back to the farm and make the new purchase. A New Holland T8050 with the upgraded engine, and I believe we'll treat ourselves to Michelin-wide tires. $132,300, and it's ours. There it is, our first big tractor. This T8050 was in production from 2007 to 2010 and was made in Racine, Wisconsin, in the USA. Even though it says New Holland, Ford actually bought New Holland in 1986 and merged Ford's manufacturing power with New Holland's agricultural innovations. There were other handoffs of the division to Fiat and then to Case, and anything with the Ford name was phased out, but the blue color you see on this New Holland and the Ford we looked at is not entirely coincidental. It's a holdover of the adopted Ford blue from that mid-80s merger. This is what the T8050 looks like in the game, and this is what it looks like in real life. You can see already why it's good we bought this one with the 3-point linkage on the back. We need it for the new seeder planter we just bought. There's also a lot of other equipment that requires a 3-point linkage. Someday we'll get the Ford, but this one is what we needed and will serve us well. let's also fully repair the seeder planter because we did buy it used. And even though we're working with a dwindling bank account, we should start using it in the best condition possible. $3,000, half our available funds, but we have an entirely new setup. I will say, providing enough information to make informed decisions is an area where Giants could improve the game. Other than visually inspecting the equipment at the store and knowing what to look for with some experience, there's absolutely no indicator that certain tractors won't work with certain pieces of equipment. I could easily see people buying the wrong thing and not even understanding why. All right, we'll park this off to the side and keep it handy, because we'll need it next month. After doing some calculations, I realized the small grain mill will run out of oats before we get a chance to do a round of planting on any of our other fields, which currently have crops growing in them. Now, I have options like prematurely harvesting one of the grass fields to plant oats, but that feels like we're moving the farm sideways and not forwards. So, what we'll do is utilize our stand of fully mature lodgepole pines and buy another field. There's a small one we can reasonably afford almost right across the road from where we have our big canola fields. So, the New Holland will have its first simple job of carting logs, and we can get ourselves more land. The oaks are also looking pretty good at 17.6 meters. It may not be too much longer before they're ready for the sawmills. It'll probably take about 3 full loads of these pines to be able to buy the field, which is about $70,000. I have no qualms at all about cutting a bunch of trees to buy a new piece of land, because land makes us money. Plus, if we get a lot of these trees cut and sold, it gives us a chance to plant more trees. So we might as well cut them and sell them as soon as reasonably possible, because that'll make us more money. Let's get on task and get our first load. All right, the sawmill is giving the best price, so the New Holland will get its first job and tour of Riverbend Springs. The joys of a new tractor. "31 miles per hour, we got here quick." The New Holland's first load has brought us $26,000, right on par. Let's weave the tractor back to the farm and get 2 more loads. This is a nicely stacked load, and the New Holland is pulling this at all speeds with no problems. And it's worth almost $26,000. Let's get back for one more load. This new field we're building money up for isn't a big one, but it is important we get it right away to plant the oats next month in March. And it feels like things are really changing around here. We got a new, powerful tractor, an amazing seeder and planter combo that's also a direct drill, and we're about to buy another field. in the next episode. Hit the like button if you think we made a good tractor purchase, and I'll see you in the next one.